system is good. Each one has its own faults. I don't know, which one do you use?
I'm on Ubuntu Maxi. I even have an Ubuntu phone.
I see. I didn't know that they still sell those.
They don't. You have to make one.
Okay, let me share my screen and let's get started. Okay. So I think Max wants every team before the in the team meeting to have first go over the high level objectives and kind of reveal where we are. So let's take a look. Not sure whether everyone has looked at the revised OKR since our last meeting. So just to reiterate, the goal for this quarter is twofold. One is to deliver stable, secure, and performance single sharded mainnet. Another one is sharding MVP. So on the single sharded side, we have several big, several key results that we want to achieve. Fixing memory leaks, and addressing existing security issues, using feature flags to do the protocol upgrades, and also keep syncing time below 8 hours for mainnet. As well as for sharding MVP, there are a list of key results that we want to achieve. Those mainly are the kind of things that we need to do to really get to the MVP state, which includes spawning multiple runtimes, ensure that there's no TPS bottleneck, and figure out the minimum hardware requirement for a block producer to check out the shard, and also to implement the new blocks and chunk producer selection algorithm. And so on a high level, we are still, I don't think any of this is finished, which is fine, but I think we are making progress on many of the key results here. So yeah, let's get an update from everyone. Yeah, start with Michael again. Michael, what's the progress there?
So yesterday / tail end of last week, we came across what looks like a bug. It's unusual, unexpected node behavior in the 100 node 8 shard network, where occasionally one node seems to be unable to apply blocks, or at least applies them very, very slowly. And so it takes a long time to receive nodes from, or to receive blocks from others. So I'm investigating why this is happening, and we'll hopefully find a fix for it.
Did you reproduce it, or is the?
Yeah, I reproduced it this morning with a 30-minute epoch time, so I can hopefully iterate on it much faster now.
So is it always the case that one node behaves abnormally?
It always looks like it's exactly one node, yes. At least exactly one validating node. The RPC nodes, the RPC nodes are sometimes falling behind, which is also unusual behavior, but it's unclear whether or not it's related. And of course, the validator bug is much more serious.
Oh, just to be more specific, the issue is that for some reason the one node takes a ridiculously long time to receive blocks at some point. So Michael, I assume that's this is what you reproduce, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, it's a bit strange, and we need more debugging to figure out what happened. But at least from the log you sent me yesterday, it seems that it's not necessarily that. Well, I didn't take a very deep dive into it, but it appears that at some point it's still receiving blocks, but the processing somehow like failed, or it's just not making progress. But actually that's not exactly what you observe, right? So basically what you observe is like it just takes a very long time to even receive a block, not necessarily related to the processing of the block.
Yeah, so I only had a limited amount of logging available. So the symptom is that it takes a long time to receive a block.
Mm-hmm.
But I suspect this is because of something relating either to processing or possibly to syncing, if it's like secretly falling behind a little bit and enters into some syncing state instead of a caught at validating state.
Well, but the problem is that even if you're syncing, you should still receive the latest block. It's just that you will not, process them immediately. But it seems like you don't, like, for this specific case, you didn't even, at least what you showed me is that, it didn't even receive the block for like quite,
Right. And I suppose it's also worth mentioning here that by the measurement is based on log timestamps, right? So it could be the case that the block was waiting in some queue for a very long time before we started processing it, and that's when it showed up in the log line. And I guess the other hint here is that the CPU maxes out to 100%, which normally it doesn't do. So so there is definitely some very heavy processing happening, which again indicates some problem related to processing.
Yeah, definitely need to figure that out. So I think we also talk about whether it happens close to the epoch boundary, but I think when I took a look at the log yesterday, it seems that it happens before the epoch ends, right? Or does it happen right after the new epoch begins?
Based on the CPU usage, it looks like it's right after the epoch begins, but the core problem could have occurred sooner. And again, the CPU usage could just be another symptom. But.
Okay. Yeah, definitely need to figure out what happened there. Right now we're just speculating. We need more debug information to actually understand what happened. Is that do you have any other updates, or
no? That's it.
Okay.
Well, some more debugging information would be really useful, because before I had an issue where I made my changes just made the node too slow and it was not syncing properly, and I didn't know for a while that was happening until Bowen showed me that this is the case. So it would be probably better to add some kind of logging, or at least some instruction on how to debug properly.
I was going to start with running with the verbose log flag. And if that's not enough, then add some.
I think that should already review like at least something, if not everything. So basically, the enable debug log. So by default, the node runs with info level log, right? You can enable debug log by passing this this flag, which how do
I will find it.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. I certainly cannot figure out how to open the chat. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, so basically you can do something like near the. Yeah, okay, yeah, Michael already did it. And yeah, that's the way you enable debug level log. Okay. Let's go with Piotr. What's the latest update on the memory leak investigation?
Yeah, so I spent some time trying to reproduce the issue, but when I actually wrote the code, that runs an example contract in a loop, I didn't see the leak happening. So instead, I focus on improving the the tools that I wrote to allow. So now I can basically see for each memory allocated object in RAS where it is actually stored, and I saw that for the WASMer I saw exactly which data structures we are leaking, and that they were actually stored. Those two leaks were related to some data structure that were actually stored within the cache. But we have already shipped a change that removes the cache. So those two leaks that are no longer happening in the WASMer, but there is also one more leak that I need to investigate. So some of like 20% of the leak for the WASMer was fixed. So
I see.
we were before leaking like 23 megabytes per hour, now leak around 20 megabytes. So that's so right now. Anyway, since we are not using, I know which data structure it is, but since we already stopped using the cache, there is no point on.
Sure. Yeah. So what is the one that's left? Is it that's the one related to Nmap, right?
Yeah, so that's the one related to Nmap. So WASMer allocates like some number of anonymous pages, and I see that it's gradually filling and allocating new pages within those anonymous memory regions. So I need to. Right now I'm going through adding some debug logs, so I will see exactly why we are allocating more pages, and I will analyze how we actually how the WASMer uses them and what for.
Okay, so I know that Nikolai also, I think, suggested something. I think maybe, yeah, you guys can discuss and try to figure out what's the best way to debug this. And
so I also improved the tools to print like the memory statistics about those memory map regions, so I can compare them with a diff and see how they change over the time. So I can see that if we want, if needed, I can even print the memory contents and see what it is. But right now I'm starting to looking at the code to figure it out.
Okay.
With Nikolai.
Yeah, I think Nikolai suggested some change to print some more information. Yeah. Okay, so yeah.
But anyway, at least the first leak related to the module state map. What was that? The suspend offset data structure being leaked. So that's one is fixed since we are no longer storing it. No longer storing the cache, and I need to check who references the data. Who references how we actually reference and access those pages. And I will start. I see a message from Nikolai, so I'll talk with him.
Okay.
He might have some ideas on what to.
Sounds good. Okay. Yeah, Misha's here.
Just one more thing. So it's also easy to reproduce, because if you run a node for a minute, it is fully synced, and then you can, with my tool, I can see that the leak is visible, and we keep using more and more memory. So you can see it in a couple of minutes. So for my purpose, I don't need like a separate reproduction. I can just see it even after just running the node for a minute or two.
Okay, that's good. Misha, are you here?
I'm here.
Okay, what have you been working on?
I've been investigating the is_height process scratch, which is a heuristic we have to ignore incoming blocks.
And what what's specifically about it?
So the problem with it is it's trivially controllable by adversary on any node.
Mhm.
And it seems like I made some test runs basically, and it seems like if there is a fork with a height difference of 1,
Mhm.
the
Yep.
network just gets stuck because of this crash.
Yep.
If it's
Yep.
affected.
Yeah, I think discussed with Alex yesterday. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but yeah, we should fix it.
I'm gonna make
But-
security issue for that.
Yeah, but
And then I'll-
it's not very likely to happen unless the adversary have very good control of the network. But, yeah,
Well,
but
I think he has to just control one block producer, just send it to only half of the nodes, and then also
Well,
send it.
the problem is that people would also rebroadcast blocks when they receive them. So it's you need
But
to
if they control 2 consecutive block producers, then it's trivial. Actually, no, because they do need. Yeah, so they need to control 2 block producers in the heights with a difference of 2, right? So they produce a block at height h, do not broadcast it, right? Does it work? Well,
so you want to wait until the next one produced to broadcast this one?
Yeah. So we need to create the fork first, and make people actually be with the height difference of.
Well, then you need to wait. You need to know. You need to control the next guy so that, like, basically right when he creates the next block, you send this one and then somehow hope
Yes.
that.
Yeah. I think you just need to control 2 consecutive block producers, produce a fork, and distribute it to 2 different halves of the network. And then it's stuck.
I see.
Yeah. So then I'm also about to push the APR for Orphan Attack.
Okay.
With the fix or just with the reproduction?
With the fix, but without changing block headers, just taking block producer signature probably.
See.
How do we fix the height processed?
Right, processed. I'll make security issue for that for now.
Yeah, but do you have an idea on how we can fix it?
I don't know what it is doing. Like, what? Why we have it?
So we have it. Yeah.
So that we don't have to, like, processing the block is not cheap, and so if someone just sends you a lot of, like if someone creates 1 million blocks for a particular height and starts sending them to you, you will be processing all of them without making any progress. So it makes sense to cut them out as quickly as possible.
Yeah, but when like right now we're setting it for invalid blocks, which doesn't make sense.
Well, the idea is that you want to set it for any block that passes the signature of the block producer.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that, yes, that it can result in half the people accepting some block for that height, which is valid, and half the people rejecting another block, which is invalid, and getting stuck. Okay, yeah, let's discuss it in the security issue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, Alex, do you want to give an update on the syncing that you're working on?
Yes. So I'm working on 2 changes. Well, I'm working on multiple related changes. So the one I'm going to be pushing first is changing the interface for fetching light client blocks. So I was trying to incorporate as much of the what Eugene Kapun wants as possible without breaking backward compatibility. I realize it's actually very easy to do because at the end of the day, our JSON RPC, our RPC is JSON, so I can add more fields without removing all the fields.
Right.
And so later, when we're done with the upgrading the bridge to use the new API, we can just remove several fields from the light client block. So right now, I'm just in the light client block view, I'm just going to be returning both current validator and the next validator sets. And so different versions of the bridge can use the one they need. And then once the one that uses next validator set is completely phased out, we will just have an extra upgrade which removes it. So that change is done and tested. I'm working on the migration, and once migration is done, I will send it.
What do you mean by are we talking about database migration?
Database migration, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I need to do a database migration, which then the second change is head garbage collecting headers and also Lightspeed sync. So I wanted to send garbage collecting headers first. I might have given this update already on the previous chain sync if I was here. But anyway, I wanted to push garbage collecting headers first, but that has an issue that that you would need to do header sync from archival nodes because non-archivals will not have headers.
Right.
So I figured I will send it together with the Lightspeed sync. So garbage collecting headers is done, and the tests are written. But Lightspeed sync I just started, and it was blocked on the light headers actually being fetchable only through the block hashes. So maintaining this map of block hash to light client block view was a problem. So now that the interface is changed, that becomes actually trivial. So it's still going to take some time, I think. So it's not very close to being shipped, but not too far either.
Does it make sense for you to first submit this PR so that we can have
yes that one I will send as soon as I have the migration. It's completely self-contained.
Yeah, and the bridge can also start using the new interface when we have this.
That's correct.
Okay. That's pretty much it. Stop share. Is there something else that people want to discuss? Okay, Rucksack now. Okay, I guess I will see you guys next week, and have a good week. Bye.